Hello folks, Scott here with my Simon Says Stamp August card kit, the Together card kit. This is the inspiration sheet here. I thought we'd run through the supplies included with this card kit together real quick. We've got the Simon Says Stamp You and Me Clear Stamps. This is a very sentiment heavy stamp set. No images. We've got this corner stripe, looks like 3 different border stamps, and then lots and lots and lots of sentiments. I want images in my stamp sets. Anyway, this is it. This is the You and Me stamp set. We get 1 full-size ink pad, the Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide ink. A couple months ago, we got the Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink, and I was so impressed with that ink that I went ahead and bought the other 11 colors in the first set. So I actually have a Cracked Pistachio already. Maybe I'll save this as a giveaway or something. Then we have 16 6x6 designer papers from Pink Fresh Studio, their Live More collection. These are nice, really nice and thick cardstock pages, only single-sided. There are 16 of them here. Again, lots of sentiments. This is kind of nice, the XOXO paper. Again, pluses. I really like this paper. I like this paper probably the best in this set. These are so small, so small. And we also get some Studio Puff Live More stickers from Pink Fresh Studios. Again, some of these are very, very tiny. It's all text-oriented. I do like the Don't Quit and the Simplicity stamps. Everything else is very small, very life-affirming. We get a jar of Wow, a Cloud 9 glitter embossing powder. This will be fun to play with, the glitter embossing powder, see how that works out. And then cardstock. We do get 5 sheets of cardstock this month. Thank you very much, Simon Says Stamp. We get a sheet of mint, a sheet of banana, a sheet of orange peel, ivory, and slate. All of these are 100-pound cardstocks included in the kit. I will make card bases out of these. That's the supplies in this kit, folks. Let's dive in and see what we can create. I usually color my images first and then start putting cards together. So I couldn't do that here, so I turned all of my attention to these stamps and my new Tim Holtz Stamp Platform. I really like this. I could not have done half of the cards that I did in this kit without this stamp platform. I, of course, had a Misty stamp platform, but only the very small one, the Mini Misty. We'll talk a little bit of these at the end of the video. So let's get into the cards. So I started playing around with the stamps, and they have those 3 great border stamps there on the side. The arrows, the minuses, the pluses, or the dashes and the crosses. I want to see if I can make them curvy. So I just traced the outline of a heart from one of my heart dies and curved the plus stamp around to see if I could make a heart. And lo and behold, I could get half a heart out of it, which is perfect. I stamped that heart on the grid pattern paper that was in the middle of those text lines, that plain white grid pattern paper. Cut the heart out, just fussy cut it. You and Me equals awesome. This is stamped in the Cracked Pistachio. This is like almost all from the kit, except for that little heart brad from Oriental Trading Company. That's where that is. Everything from the kit here. So there are a couple of strips from the plus pattern paper. I chose the blue and red pluses to go along. I did stamp the pluses in straight lines, top and bottom. Those and the sentiment are clear embossed, so there's a little shine to them. There it is. It's a little shine to those, top and bottom. I thought this was very interesting once I completed it. Putting these crosses on the grid paper kind of looks like cross-stitching. So this was kind of fun. I like this. This is on the mint card base. Simple. I did use the Cloud 9 embossing powder around the edges. I just used my Versamark pen to trace around the heart again and used the embossing powder. That Cloud gives a nice glittery touch to the whole card. You plus me equals awesome. At least there's a big heart on the mint cardstock. So that's card number 1 this month. There is beauty in simplicity. So I tell you, I was tempted to stick that stamp in the middle of a plain orange card and leave it at that. But I couldn't. I had to do something. So I actually cut this orange strip. Was the strip of the pattern paper running between the marble and the blue stripes. The only stripe of orange in all of the pattern papers. So I cut that out of that to use on the edge here. I did stamp the dashed line border stamp in the Orange Slush hybrid ink that we got in the Simon Says Stamp April kit. It matched perfectly with this orange peel cardstock. Went very well. I went ahead and embossed that with some clear embossing to make it stand out a bit. I did add that small remember sticker to the top of this. Remember, there is beauty in simplicity. 3 sequins. These sequins are from a paper pumpkin kit from October of last year, October of 16. 3 sequins, 1 stamp, 2 stickers, and a strip of pattern paper. I don't think I can get any simpler than that. That's about my limit. I did round the edges of this card. I thought it needed a little help there with my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. Those are 1/4 inch curves there. Remember, there is beauty in simplicity. Now, my stamp platform really came into play again on this card. This one is on the banana card base. This is the Love You Endlessly. I stamped the Love You Endlessly on the brown grid paper from the designer paper in the Simon Says Stamp Barely Beige stamp pad that we got in the June kit from Simon Says Stamp. I stamped those straight up and down, one piece of that brown grid paper, thanks to my Tim Holtz platform. That was fairly easy. I thought I was getting it dead on, but if you look really close, it's not quite perfectly level. So I was learning. The brown grid paper, these are the pink triangles. Pink, I'm tired of pink, please. These are the pink triangles. The pink and yellow and light brown go well together. I did stamp the sentiment one more time on the white and black grid paper in the walnut stain oxide ink. I used a Ellen Hudson stitching line die. This is one of the only real high-end dies I bought. Little stitching line down the edge here. I like that a lot. I think it echoes the flag on the sentiment. It also echoes the diamonds that I cut out of the pattern paper. These are gemstones from the June Love from Lizzie kit. I've been getting the Love from Lizzie kits. I put a piece of tape on them as they sat on their acetate, taped over the top of them, peeled them up very slowly from their acetate, and then moved them right to the card. That gave me a nice straight line of those lovely gemstones. I also added a thin piece of peel-offs. Love from Lizzie kits have these great peel-offs. They're just stickers, 3 different widths, very narrow, medium, and wide. I added a very narrow peel-off right to the edge here. Really nice. It really defines this edge over here and gives a nice finish to the side of this card. Love You Endlessly. Okay, so now I'm taking that corner stripe stamp from the stamp kit, the corner stripe here. But I started playing around with that, see what I could get from it. And here we have our Love and Thanks card. I did the corner stripe stamp, centering that on the middle of the card. I stamped that in the Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink. This is the pattern paper that I really liked in the kit. This had actually some good colors in it. I used the Broken China Distress Oxide ink. I used the Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide ink. Put the sentiments around the corner of this square that the striped stamp left. I even used one of the stickers. This moment means every lovely word I can possibly think of. I thought that went okay with this. You are incredible down the side. 3 Simon Says Stamp Moonshine sequins up on top. Very nice card. I like the stamp making a square in the center of the card. I thought that was great fun. And I really like the Broken China, the Worn Lipstick, and the Cracked Pistachio colors work together very well, especially on this mint card base. Love and thanks. You are incredible. So I got tired of making cards that didn't have pictures on them. So on one of the slate card bases, I had to go for it. Love that we're friends. I had this image in my image stash. I had made a birthday card very similar to this a couple of years ago. Love this picture. It can be anybody. I like that it's the back of the kids. Love that we're friends. Perfect sentiment that goes on there. I used the blue stripe paper from the Blue Stripes and Marble paper that I cut off. Made a nice diagonal across it. This is actually mint macaron Stampin' Up stamp, a stamp pad that I got while I was a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Mint macaron. It went really well with this blue-green. The Cracked Pistachio just did not match this bluish-green tint here. The mint macaron went with it much, much better. Love that we're friends. Just cut this simple Polaroid frame out of my silhouette. 4 of those stacked together so it's nice and thick. That's up on foam tape. Nothing fancy, slate card base. Love that we're friends. A nice photo. I actually printed the photo on photo paper, so it's got a good gloss to it. I didn't think we needed any sequins or glitter or anything like that. There was another sticker in the kit that really caught my attention. It was the Don't Quit sticker. So on the slate card base, I had to make a Don't Quit Your Daydreams card. This is the pattern paper that had the little corners of the marble in it. I just cut the marble out. I really liked the shape of this once the marble was gone. It goes very well on the slate cardstock. This is the sticker, of course. I did Your Daydreams are in Arial Black. Just printed that on some cardstock, cut out a square, rounded the corners. These are the little triangle puff stickers from the sticker set. They matched. I liked these very much on the points of this pattern paper. Great fun. Don't quit your daydreams. I also went in for a little finishing touch and used I got some new Sharpie markers that are extremely fine point. Is that what they call them? Metallic extra fine point. Sharpie metallic markers. You can see them on the edges of the gray. I think it finished it off very nicely, gave just the touch of glow to that. The Sharpie markers, the extra fine point, are really, really, really fine point. I love them. Of course, they have that great Sharpie metallic color to them, and that fine point kind of just blows me away. Don't quit your daydreams. Now, that's a good sentiment. I have to try and make a shaker card just because. So again, with my Tim Holtz Stamp Platform, I masked off the stamp, the stripe stamp, at a 45-degree angle and was able to stamp a pretty good square out of it. This is in the worn lipstick, just with some tape over the edges of the stamp to make a 45-degree angle. I got a good square out of that. Again, I liked the broken china, cracked pistachio, and worn lipstick together so much on this card. I thought we'd do that on something white here. Let that play up. I just cut this out with my scissors, X-Acto knife for the center. That great pattern paper is in the back, and I use that to transition between the white cardstock and the ivory card base. Thanks, you are a great friend is the sentiment on this. That's stamped in the broken china. And then one of the stickers, one of the little stickers that says, "You make me so happy," right in the middle of that window. I forget how effective a shaker card can be, even when it's a very tiny shaker window. I like this a lot. Of course, this is the stripe stamp that ends behind here, and then another bit of it stamped here. The stamp is not that long, but I thought it was great fun to make it look like that stamp was every bit as long as the card is. So thanks to my Tim Holtz Stamp Platform again. And thanks, you are a great friend. A good shaker card. This shaker mix is actually sequins from Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin Kit from June of 16. It has some nice pink in it. Everybody deserves a gold star. Lots of white sequins and white stars. It was a good sequin mix. Went very well with this. Okay, moving right along. I need some images to work with. Please give me some shapes, something. These stripes and kind of dull pattern papers are not cutting it for me. So I found this great image online. I believe it was some logo for some veterinary or something like that. But I downloaded that and created a couple of shapes for myself. Just a couple of my hand cut die cuts is what I call these. my hand cut die cuts. A cat and a dog. I love the curve of them, that they're kind of nestling in each other. So I treated these like they were die cuts from this kit and created another card on the orange peel card base. Love everything about you. This is the one card that I actually used a variety of the pattern paper on. I cut the cat out of the pink polka dot, more pink polka dot. Cut the dog out of that kind of grid, gray, green, and pink grid. I like stripes and polka dots together. They work very well. Of course, the best pattern paper that matched this orange peel cardstock was the XOXO cardstock. So a couple of strips on the sides of the XO cardstock. I did glitter those up a little bit with Spectrum Noir glitter pen, the clear glitter pen. And again, these are the Love from Lizzie peel-offs. Really simple stickers that ultimately add a great deal of punch to almost any card. Love everything about you, stamped in the walnut stain oxide ink. Goes very well on that light brown grid paper. This is a nice card. I like that we've got images, but they are patterned images. Great fun. I wouldn't mind having a couple of dies like that. So now I've got to color something. You're driving me a little crazy because I haven't been able to color anything. So I found this cute little image online and decided I had to use this for one of my cards. Now this little image had a bounding box on it, so I used my T-square to mount it on my light board and used the T-square to square up the card base as well. I'm going to trace this whole image with my Pigma Micron 05 pen. These are my archival ink pens. I really like these. I cannot print an image on my computer and color that because I only have an inkjet printer, and that ink will smear and run all over the place, whether you're coloring with alcohol markers or with watercolors. So I traced everything with my Pigma Micron pen, and then I'm going to color them with my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. This first coat is GT 1, 2, and 3, green turquoise. This green turquoise matched the cracked pistachio very well. Now, I'm pretty new at alcohol ink coloring, so I'm just learning, working my way through it. I'm not terribly good at it, but every time I do it, I get a little bit better. This magenta coat is in MG 5, 3, and 2. MG stands for magenta. Magenta 5, 3, and 2. I thought that went really well with the green turquoise next to her. I color the green turquoise pants in aqua blue, AB 1 and 3. And then I color the pants on the magenta coat in purple, 2 and 4, very light purple, purple 2, purple 4, PL2, PL4. And then, of course, one of the girls has to have blonde hair, so I go into the GB family. The gold brown 4, 6, and 8 are what I use for the hair here. I think this is the first hair I've ever colored with my alcohol markers. It's not a bunny or a chick or an elephant or... So on the right, we're going to make her a brunette. So we're using a TN 4 and 6, that's tan 4 and 6, and then my dark color is DR7, a dark red 7. It has a lot of brown in it. This came out okay, very nice. It was great fun just to be able to color something with this kit. I used FS5, Flesh 5 for the skin, and then picked out the Ice Gray 1 and 3 for a little ground underneath them, to ground them, give them a little something to stand on. And there's a little bit of my process for those folks who've been asking. And here's the finished card. Thanks for everything you do. This is a one-layer card completely. This was traced and colored straight on the ivory cardstock. Thanks for everything you do, stamped in the cracked pistachio, the arrow border stamp, stamped on the two sides in the cracked pistachio. Thanks for everything you do. I like this a lot. Again, it kind of echoes the Love That We're Friends card in that you're looking at the backs of people. Great fun. I really like this card. It has some real fun color and something to look at. So now we get to our final card. I've got one card base left. It's a banana card base. I can't find any pattern paper that has any banana in it anywhere. I'm a bit at a loss. I've actually used every sentiment in the stamp set by now, in the You and Me stamp set. I've used all of the border stamps in the set. I've used the striped corner stamp from the set. So I'm kind of left to my own devices, finally. Now, I'm a little bit upset with this You and Me equals awesome stamp. I tried to stamp the You and Me equals without the awesome 49 times and could not get it. I tried masking the stamp. I tried masking the paper. It is so close. The U and the O are so close to that W, you cannot get between them at all. I wish that they had scooted the awesome down a couple of points away so we could actually stamp You and Me equals something else, because trust me, You and Me equals a lot of things beyond just awesome. So I created my own You plus Me equals. Put this on a black card base. I've got this whole thing covered with this sheer shimmer spritz. Try saying that 10 times. Sheer shimmer spritz spray. Very nice, extremely sparkly. I did that on the banana cardstock. I used the Cloud 9 embossing powder to put a little glitter frame around that. Did break into the nice orange and pink pattern paper for the back of that. I did add some more of that Cloud 9 glitter embossing paste on the top and bottom here. I did that on a piece of score tape, 1/8" score tape, and I tell you, it sticks much better to the score tape than it does to Versamark ink. I think it's the metallics of the whole thing. But anyway, you plus me equals magic. Now there's some Scott color for you. This is one of those twist and pop cards. This is actually my first twist and pop card that I've made. I've mastered the pattern for it a while ago, but thinking I would use it for a card someday. You and me equals magic. This is, believe it or not, the Brady Bunch remastered font. I'm getting a lot of use out of that font, let me tell you. Colored and cut this out on my silhouette. I found this great picture of fireworks online and printed that up for the back piece. I used my Sakura Stardust gel pen to outline all of the layers. The other piece of the banana provides a writing surface for here. Yes, you plus me equals magic. See, there's much more than just awesome. You plus me equals. I wanted the front of this to be about as plain as possible while still giving a hint of things to come. You plus me equals magic. I have lots of supplies left. I, of course, have an unopened stamp pad. I'll probably give this away. Maybe some lucky blog follower will win this. A lot of the embossing powder. I have a number of the puffy stickers left. These feel a little sappy to me. Again, the colors aren't great. Again, there's no real banana in the stickers either, but I managed to use a few stickers from this set. I have lots and lots of this cardstock left. I liked this piece of the pattern paper the best. I thought it really played well as far as the square aspect of this stamp set. I used a little bit of a lot. There's my doggy die cut. There's my kitty die cut. Marble paper, I just don't get it. These are nice, but so many of these have a lot of white. So many of these have a lot of pink. I will keep these in my stash by all means. Good pattern paper is always hard to come by, but not a big fan of this Pink Fresh Live More studio stuff. So how do I like my Tim Holtz Stamp Platform? I like it a lot, if for no other reason than it costs the same as this one. I've been watching a lot of reviews online here. My big add to this that I think is a great add, but ultimately I kind of added this to my Misty as well. I got these 6 non-slip vinyl template sheets. 4 of them had a 1/4" grid on them, 2 of them did not. I actually created one for my Misty that has center lines for a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2" card. This is very handy to use. The Misty, of course, has the foam pad and the grid sheets to go on top. I immediately laminated my grid sheets so I could keep them and not have to buy more as they got stamped up. It wipes right off. Unfortunately, the Misty has an edge all the way around, so if you want to do much stamping off the edge or do much progressive stamping, as in stamping over and over and over in a pattern, this is not going to cut it for you. The lid of the Misty is very light. Misty works very well. I liked my Misty. I could not do some things with my Misty. Now, here's my grid from the quilt kit. 8 by 8. Just cut it right out. I pop it right in the corner of my Tim Holtz Stamp Platform, and there my bottom has a grid. I can put my card underneath it, lay out my stamps on top of it, then remove it. I can put my cards on top of it. I can line things up. This grid matches the grid on top virtually perfectly. You can almost not even see the two grids. It all just looks like one grid. That was my big addition to my Tim Holtz Stamp Platform, was this simple grid paper. I love this stamp platform. This lid is thick and heavy. It almost stamps all on its own without any pressure. I've heard a number of people complain that it doesn't do the clear stamps very well because there's no pad here for the stamp to kind of press into. But I did all of my sentiments here on the Tim Holtz Stamp Platform, and as far as I'm concerned, I got great results with it. I like this stamp platform. I like it if for no other reason that I get more real estate for the same dollar. That's my card kit, ladies and gentlemen. I have recently been announced as a design team member with Love from Lizzie. I'm very excited about that. I will try to keep my Simon Says Stamp subscription going. I always try to give a company a whole year before I decide whether to stay or go. Along with my design team assignment at Love from Lizzie, I have had to get up and running on all sorts of social media. So I now have a blog at CardCutups.wordpress.com. I am on Instagram at CardCutups. I have a Facebook page at CardCutups. You can also find me on the Love from Lizzie page, and of course my YouTube channel where you're watching. So please join me on other social media if you would like. I'm just exploring and getting to know the territory on all of those, so it's a little overwhelming, but so far so good. So I hope you enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time with this kit. I really like the cards that I came up with, and I ultimately used not a lot of my own stock for this. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased that you joined me today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like me, list me, pin me, post me, share me with all your friends, and happy crafting.